already got my eyebrows on. We can't do them on camera, so I needed to, you know, go ahead and do them off because they wouldn't go come out nice. Today's gonna be a little different. I'm gonna do a get ready with me book review. You know, I haven't really seen it done, so I'm gonna do that. And it's gonna be like a book review with a twist. A while back when I was buying books, I kept buying books that had the same titles with it. And I was thinking like, hey, it would be cool to do like a Who Done It Better version. Now, disclaimer, this is just what I personally feel like, which book was better. And also, if you don't like spoilers, I don't know if this book is going to be for you, because for me to be able to express to you why I feel like the book is better, I might have to, you know, give you a little bit more details about the book than just the synopsis. So the look I'm gonna go for is more like, you know, a bride look theme. Don't mind me, I know I look crazy with my little things in. These curls fail, so we gotta get those together. And the makeup palette I'm gonna be using today is called In the Buff Palette by Beats by Deb Cosmetics. As disclaimer, my brushes aren't clean. Don't talk about me. I'm gonna do it. So let's get started with the first book that I read. The first book I have here is called The Last Wife by Karen Hamilton. Now this book follows two friends, Maria and Nina. And Nina becomes terminally ill, and she asks her friend Marie to look after her husband and her kids when she's gone. After Nina ends up passing away, Marie ends up moving into their house so she can better look after her best friend's kids. Now, Marie kind of felt like Nina had all. She had the loving husband, the kids, the nice house, the career. You know, she had everything. Nina had everything that Maria was looking for in life. Now, of course, that already sounds a bit twisty. We have Stuart, who is Nina's husband, and that's the husband Marie starts to move in and look after. Now, of course, things transpire between them. When Marie moves in the house, she ends up finding these diary entries that Nina wrote while she was alive, and she's starting to realize, you know, Nina didn't really like her life so much, and it was a whole bunch of different things going on with that. For me, this is supposed to be a thriller, but it kind of fell flat for me because as I'm starting to read more books, I'm starting to realize like I'm an intense thriller person. Like the more the twisted it is, the more like it's in the book, the better for me. And by the time we get like when the like droppers or the stuff that surprise you gets dropped, it just felt little flat for me. You know, I just wanted things to be a little bit more twisted than what it actually was. So it wasn't a bad read. Like, I honestly enjoyed it, but it just wasn't as a thriller as I would like it to be. Now, throughout the story, someone else that we see is Camille, which is one of their other friends, and she never really liked Marie. And, you know, stuff goes on between them two that we end up seeing. We see Stuart and how he was as a husband throughout the book. Now, for me, what would have saved this book is if we saw more of Stuart. Like, we got to see a little bit into his head, because as you see, Stuart isn't just like oh so great of a husband, you know. The next book I ended up reading and I'm going to discuss is called The Wife Between Us by Greer, Hendricks, and Sarah. So The Wife Between Us ends up following Vanessa, who ends up getting divorced from her wealthy husband, Richard. Now, the book is he divorced Vanessa to get with a new woman, basically. And so we see like the aspect of Vanessa becoming like wealthy. She didn't have to work. Now she don't have no money because her husband, you know, divorced her and took it all. And then we have the perspective of Nellie, who is his new wife, and how they fell in love. Now, with this book, at the time I couldn't appreciate it for what it was, because I had just read the book by them, the Anonymous Girl, by the same two authors, and their writing style is like extremely similar. It just flowed the same way for me, and I feel like I personally read them too close back to back for me to actually, you know, enjoy it. It was just more so like a, you know, I'm kind of getting the same vibe, but I really like how it was done, as far as like we get to see what really happened, who is really who. One thing I will say that was like something that messed it up for me is I don't like when a book puts too much twist in it. Like, you know, you get the first bomb drop, okay. You get the second one, okay. But once we hit in like the 5th twisty turn, I just feel like I'm on a roller coaster and I just want to put it down. But after I sat back and digest the book, I did like it way much more. And initially, what was my first like rating? Because at first I'm like, it's just like a 3-star, but it might be like a 3.5 star. This book is really hard for me to give a review on, because if I start to review it, I feel like I'm gonna just tell y'all the whole book. And I know you do like a warning, because the twist did get me. Like, I didn't know who was who, like who was supposed to be actually be who. It really got to me. I'm like, hey, wait a minute, you know, I was little, you know, I got it, okay. But hi, it's Tay from the future here. I realized I didn't give a good description of what this book was about. The thriller aspect about it is Nellie, Richard's new wife, feels like his old wife is becoming obsessed with her, or that she may potentially be stalking her and she doesn't know, and she's starting to get fearful like someone's watching her, and we see other stuff occur as the book goes on. One thing else I like to say about the authors, those 2 author books in general, the book as you're reading it does feel like this author wrote the chapter, then the next author, then the other author wrote like the next chapter. So it feels like, you know, each of them just keeps writing chapter after chapter. I don't know, it just, you can tell that's how I feel like they did it. I'm not sure. Let me cut the crease before I tell you the next one, cause hold on, I can't cut a crease and talk at the same time. It's just not going. Well, I'm talking now, so I don't mind me. As a wife, as married, I look cute, don't I? Get the next book for you. So the next book I read is Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane. Now this, I believe, was her debut book. And this book has to follow, you know, I want to keep doing a real review. But Pretty Little Wife follows, I don't know if it's Lila or Layla, but she's married to Aaron and she ends up killing her husband. Now, when she killed her husband, she left his body somewhere and he ends up going missing, basically. And that's, she reported him missing and she felt like they were going to find the body where she placed it. But as the story goes on, she killed her husband, and where she put the body wasn't there. So now she looking like, wait a minute, what happened to the body? So that's basically what the story is about. Now, I believe the author was, since this is like a missing person, you do have the whole investigation aspect of it, and the author was like an attorney, I believe, before she wrote this book. And the book does feel authentic, like the whole case and the whole how the cops are handling, like the detectives looking for her husband. But also in this town, young women have been going missing, so they don't know if his disappearance as like has to do with like the has to do with the young women that have recently been missing. Trying to get the thought out, I'm sorry. And at the same time, while this goes on, there is a podcast throughout the story that follows the young women that are missing and then now following her husband. But you can tell, like, this book, of course, the wife is pretty much anxious throughout the whole entire book because she knows her husband is dead. Like, she knew she killed him. She checked his breathing and everything. And the book starts to tell you why she killed him, because her husband does seem to be like a good Samaritan. Everyone loves her husband. Like, what is wrong with him? That's why they can't even understand as to why he's gone or who will want to, like, do anything to him. So we see, like, past tense what happened prior to, like, the wife killing her husband and why she did it. Now, at the time, I think I was just like irritated and frustrated with the books I was reading because like I was being really tough on reviews. Like I was like, this book, it was good, but it wasn't. Like I think I may have given it 4 stars or 3 stars. I might have to go back and actually look to see what I actually gave it. But it was like, I feel like at one point of the book, I was starting to get irritated because it's like they have skeptical who they feel like it was. They thinking it's this person. And I actually did enjoy the book. And for this to be her like, this is what I'm hitting y'all with. This is my first book. Here it is. She did a really good job, to be honest with you. It did start to feel a little drawn out at the end, but you know, we did like it. I like the who done it, who actually it was. And I guess all these, like, I picked the one word that all these books have in it is wife. And I guess these are like thriller marriage, you know, thriller books that have to do with marriage. Some people make this look easy. It's kind of hard to talk at the same time and do your makeup. You're trying to make it look cute. You ain't trying to mess stuff up. You know, I'm giving a soft glam. This, I feel like this what brides look like. They do. You know, if I get married, this might be my, I might just have to be my own face. Cause I did this. You know, the eyes is cute. You know, I just had me a cup of coffee. My caffeine is starting to like come and hit me. I am like, if y'all seen Hoodweek, the cartoon, I am the squirrel when he drinks a cup of coffee. It's not hitting me too bad. Usually I would like keep rambling. I think that's why it's kind of easy for me to like talk in this video, because usually I'd be having so hard, can't say what I want to say. But I'm just rambling. Hopefully I didn't leave out what I wanted to say about these books. But I have time at the last like drum roll of what book I like better. So I'm gonna wait to the end to give y'all this updates, like the what each book star was. I had another book that I read for this, but I'm not gonna tell y'all about that one because I honestly didn't like it at all. I don't want to bash somebody's book. We just gonna leave it alone. So the last book I ended up reading before I go to my face and I'll talk about it is Dear Wife by Kimberly Bell. This has to follow a married couple where her husband is actually abusing her, and she ends up like disappearing and running away from him because she wants to get away. And so throughout this book we have the perspective of the wife who's on the run. I think her name's like Sabine, and she like ends up changing her name to Beth, and you see why she wanted to get away. But of course, you know, when you have an abusive husband, people don't know who he is really. Like, he was abusing her. I think she was trying to hide it. And so then you have the perspective of the detective who's trying to find the wife and what happened to her. And then you have the perspective of the abusive husband. She basically changes her name and goes to a different city. Of course. So the detective name is Marcus. The abusive husband is Jeffrey. I really love how the story was written. When the final bomb dropped of what was like really going on page 306, and I have the paperback version if you just wanted to know, my mouth dropped and I had to go back and reread because this book really got me. Like, I did not see the twist coming at all. If you say you did, you must read a lot of thrillers, because I did not know. I was really like, wow, that's what happened. And I was reading the book at work. Throughout the book, you hear stories about like how the husband was abusing her and what made her want to leave, and how she was afraid because she felt like her husband was always going to find her some way, somehow. When I tell you this book was done so good. With the book, you see how she planned her escape, how she did it. I kind of want to tell y'all the ending. Let's not do that. People gonna be mad. Like, why would you tell me? But yeah, I highly recommend The Dear Wife because it was just read so beautifully. Like, the story did it for me. Okay. Give me some help, because I don't think I put my concealer in the right place. As a wife, I'm gonna get married. Meet me at the altar in your white dress. We ain't getting no younger. We might as well do it. That's like a popular married song. I mean, married, yeah, people play that song at their wedding a lot. And y'all just heard them lyrics. We ain't getting no, might as well. You might as well do something. I want you to be berserking. I think I'm supposed to put the dirt. We just gonna put that in, because I don't know what I just did. Boop. Honestly, out of reading all these books, marriage don't seem too hot. I don't know what they got going on. But they don't make it seem like you want to get married, because, yeah, out of all these books, it seemed like these people, all of them were abusive. Boop, 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 boop. Since we're being right, we're going to place my contour a little bit higher than what I normally would, because it won't be snatched. Okay, honey? Snatched. I'm going to, like, pull this down, because it's kind of too high for my liking. That's not where my cheekbone is at. Like, I just gave me some dark blush. It was turning out so cute. I'll put it down. Put it down. Bring it down. Bring it down. Bring it down. Yeah, like, I'll put this way too high. This is what I normally put it. I was trying to do what they do on TV, but we're just gonna blend that. I'm gonna like put this darker blush shade on top of it, so we're gonna fix it. And I just got my nails done today. Look how cute these are. We love them. And now y'all see the bling. I told y'all I was a wife. We told you. We told you. Alright. I don't know how the fuck I'm about to say this, but I ain't taking it off. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna do something. Figure it out. Dust it away. Technical difficulties here, people. We're gonna put blush. Put the color on top. There we go. There we go. This is more blush than I would normally wear, but I'm really trying to save the thing. And just put it on top, so. Oh, I'm just realizing I did not put no primer on my face. I didn't do that. Okay. Well, too late. Taking Max Global Glow. I know you're not supposed to keep makeup for that long, but I've had this. I wore this highlighter to my prom. That's just all I'm saying. I ain't that old, but you know, yeah. Prom was 7 years ago. So I'm really about to go to a wedding. Somebody invite me out. Yep, since this is a dark thriller, more so thriller than anything, we're gonna use Diva. Let's say Rebel. So this is the finished look. We're at the end of the video. We're at the drum rolls to see who did it better, who did a more twisted thriller marriage type of book. So in last place at 3 stars is how ironic, The Last Wife. For me, it just felt a little flat. I didn't like the ending. If we would have got more of Stuart's like perspective or got into his head a little bit, because you do see he's a little bit twisted, and it's like that piece was just missing for me for this to be more so like, if we had that in the book, my review probably would have been a lot higher and it would have been higher up the scale. But this book for me came in last place. Sorry. The next book is The Wife Between Us. Now, oh, did I say this was 3 stars? But I don't know. So I gave that 3 stars. Still not bad, just not the winner. This book here, at the time I rated it 3 stars. Why? Because I read the book with the authors too close together. It just was a little bit too much. I felt like I was getting, I think I may have read too many books like this close to back to where, oh, the person who you think is the good person is not who they say they are. So it was just too much of that. And I couldn't appreciate the book at the time that I read it. But at this time, I would give this more so 3.5 or 4 stars. Because after I sat with it and, you know, I can appreciate it more. But, yep. So this is 4th place. This is 3rd place. Now, I don't know if you guys can already tell what is my 2nd and what is my 1st. But in 2nd place with 4 stars is Pretty Little Life. Now, I did really enjoy this book. It did start to feel too much with the podcast aspect into it. I don't feel like the podcast being in the story was necessary. It honestly, everything else in it feeling like a real investigation held weight on its own to where the podcast wasn't needed at all. So this ended up with 4 stars. Not bad, especially for this to be her first book. We really love it. Now, at this point, we know who took the cake at 5 stars. Dear Wife. Now, I really loved how this book was written. Like, I like the twist. I like the end. I actually love the ending. Like, let me see how many pages is in this book. Because I told y'all 306 is where the drop, like the big drop was at. And it really got me. So, hold on. 360. So, if it took me all the way to 306 to figure out what was really going on and who is who, this honestly was a great book and I really recommend it to anyone. This book took the cake. I'm sorry, this is a winner. We love this one. If you want to get your hands on like a thriller dealing with marriage, pick this little thing up. I genuinely enjoyed doing this video. I love doing my face. I love reviewing books. So I know my reviews probably weren't the best or top tier, but it is way much harder for you to do your makeup and talk about a book at the same time. But if you like this video, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, share, and until the next time.